5 years. That number echoed inside my mind every morning when I unlocked the front gate of Carter Strategic Security Headquarters. 5 years of standing beside Commander Olivia Carter. 5 years of putting every order before my own life. 5 years of believing loyalty would eventually earn something more than silence. Morning, Ethan. The receptionist said. Morning. Commander Carter arrived 20 minutes ago. Nothing unusual. I walked upstairs and knocked once. Come in, Olivia said. I stepped inside. Olivia never looked up immediately. Olivia kept reading several reports before speaking again. Today's schedule. I handed over the tablet. 8 o'clock board meeting. Olivia nodded. 9:30 client inspection. Another nod. Security review after lunch. Olivia finally looked at me. Vehicle ready? Already inspected. Route? Checked twice. Any risks? None confirmed. Olivia stood. Let's go. That was a normal conversation between us. Short, cold, professional. Outside, Mason Reed waited beside the company vehicle. Mason. I said. Ethan. Mason replied with a smile that never reached Mason's eyes. Commander Carter works too hard. Commander Carter expects the same from everyone. Especially from you. I simply do my job. Mason laughed softly. One day somebody younger will replace you. I won't complain when that day comes. You sound confident. I sound honest. Olivia opened the rear door. Ethan, I'm here. We're leaving. Yes, Commander. The meeting lasted 3 hours. During the drive back, Olivia reviewed documents while I watched every mirror and every intersection. Olivia suddenly asked, did the west entrance cameras get replaced? Yesterday, tested twice. Good. That single word felt strangely valuable because praise almost never came from Olivia. Later, another assignment appeared. Ethan? Yes. Airport. I'll prepare the vehicle. No delays. There won't be. By evening my legs hurt, my shoulders felt stiff, and my phone showed 3 missed calls from my father. I called back immediately. Hi Dad. Daniel Brooks answered with a sigh. Ethan, still working? Almost finished. You said that yesterday. I know. You also said that last week. I remember. Daniel stayed quiet for a moment before speaking again. 5 years is a long time. I made a promise. You made a promise to protect Commander Carter, not to lose yourself. I have it. Ethan, listen carefully. I'm listening. Loyalty is honorable. I believe that, but loyalty without respect becomes a prison. I don't think Commander Carter disrespects me. Daniel laughed sadly. When was the last time Commander Carter asked about your family? I stayed silent. When was the last time Commander Carter thanked you? Silence answered again. When was the last time Commander Carter told you to rest? I don't need thanks. Every person needs appreciation. My job isn't about appreciation. Your job isn't your entire life. I know. No, Ethan. Daniel knows that answer wasn't true. I leaned against the parking garage wall. Maybe things will change. How much longer will you wait? I don't have that answer. Daniel spoke gently. I'm proud of your strength. Thanks, Dad. But strength also means knowing when to walk away. I'll think about it. Promise. I promise. After ending the call, I looked toward the executive office windows. Olivia still worked long after everyone else had gone home. Part of me admired that dedication. Another part quietly wondered whether my own life had slowly disappeared behind Olivia's endless schedule. The thought refused to leave my mind. The next morning started before sunrise. I checked every security report, inspected every vehicle, and reviewed every route before Olivia arrived. Routine had become part of my identity. Olivia walked into the garage exactly at 7 o'clock. Ethan. Good morning, Commander. Status. Vehicles cleared. Routes confirmed. Security team ready. Any problems? Nothing serious. Let's move. During the drive, Olivia kept reading documents without looking outside. After several minutes, Olivia asked, did the Harper contract arrive? Yes. Reviewed. I finished reviewing everything last night. Any concerns? One supplier failed a background check. Olivia finally raised an eyebrow. Replace the supplier. I already contacted another company. Good. Those 4 letters should have meant very little. Instead, my heart treated them like a reward. The day became another endless cycle of meetings, inspections, and emergency calls. Late in the afternoon, Mason Reed walked beside me. Ethan. What is it? I heard something interesting. What? Commander Carter depends on you too much. I simply handle my responsibilities. You really believe that? I don't play office games. Mason smiled. One day Commander Carter will realize somebody else can do your job. If that happens, I hope the company succeeds. You don't even fight back. I don't need to. You make my work difficult. I didn't know we were competing. We always have been. I came here to protect Commander Carter, not compete with coworkers. Mason chuckled. That's exactly why you'll lose. Mason walked away before I answered. The conversation stayed in my mind longer than I expected. That evening, Olivia called me into the office. Ethan. Yes, Commander. You requested vacation next week. Yes. I planned everything 3 months ago. I know. Olivia placed a folder on the desk. A client from Washington arrives Monday. I can brief another officer. No. The team is capable. I assigned the mission to you. My vacation begins Monday morning. Olivia looked directly into my eyes. Vacation cancelled. The words landed harder than any punch I had ever taken. Commander, everything has already been booked. Cancel the reservations. My father planned a trip with me. Family plans can wait. I stared at Olivia hoping for another sentence. Maybe an apology. Maybe an explanation. Nothing came. I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. I know. I've never refused an assignment. I know. I've missed birthdays. Silence. I missed holidays. Silence again. I even postponed surgery after my shoulder injury because the company needed me. Olivia's expression never changed. The company needs you now. That answer emptied something inside me. Understood, Commander. You may leave. I turned toward the door. Ethan. I stopped. Thank you for your work today. The words should have made me feel better. Instead, the gratitude sounded formal, almost automatic. You're welcome, Commander. I walked out of the office with slow steps. Outside, my phone rang. Daniel Brooks. Hello, Dad. Everything ready for next week? I closed my eyes before answering. No. What happened? My vacation was cancelled. Daniel stayed silent. Finally, Daniel asked, without a reason, the company needs me. Ethan, how many times will you keep giving away pieces of your life? I looked back at Olivia's office window. The lights were still on. My heart still wanted to stay. My mind quietly whispered that Daniel might finally be right. For the first time in 5 years, loyalty no longer felt like honor. Loyalty felt like a chain that I no longer knew how to carry. 3 months passed after my cancelled vacation, but nothing changed. Every morning looked exactly like the one before. Every night ended with another unfinished meal, another missed phone call, and another promise to myself that tomorrow would somehow be different. It never was. One Monday morning, Olivia called me into the conference room. Ethan. I'm here, Commander. Our largest client arrives in 30 minutes. The security team is ready. Nothing can go wrong. It won't. Olivia handed me a folder. Review every guest again. I already checked everyone twice. Check again. Understood. The meeting started smoothly until the lights suddenly went out. Someone had cut the building's power. The emergency alarm echoed through every floor. People panicked. A security officer shouted, "Unknown movement near the server room." I grabbed my radio. Team Alpha, secure the east hallway. Another voice answered, "Copy." I turned toward Olivia. "Commander, stay behind me. I don't need protection. You do right now." Without waiting for another argument, I guided Olivia toward the emergency exit while 2 masked intruders rushed through the hallway. One attacker raised a weapon. I reacted immediately. I pushed Olivia behind a concrete pillar. The first shot hit the wall instead of Olivia. I tackled the attacker before another shot could be fired. The second intruder tried reaching the server room. Another security officer blocked the hallway while I chased the suspect. After several minutes, local police arrived. Both intruders were arrested. The stolen company data never left the building. The client remained safe. Every employee returned home unharmed. I finally took a deep breath. "We made it," another officer said. "We did." I honestly believed the worst was over. An hour later, Olivia gathered every department inside the main conference hall. Everyone waited for recognition after surviving the attack. Instead, Olivia looked directly at me. "Ethan." "Yes, Commander." The security response was slower than expected. The room became completely silent. I answered carefully. "My team stopped both intruders before any damage happened. The breach happened under your supervision. The attackers entered using stolen maintenance badges. You should have predicted that possibility." I increased security after receiving the anonymous warning. It wasn't enough. Several employees lowered their eyes. Nobody spoke. I felt every word like another weight on my shoulders. I accept responsibility, I said quietly. You should. The meeting ended. Nobody celebrated stopping the attack. Nobody mentioned that every employee had gone home safely. Nobody acknowledged the risks my team had taken. Outside the conference room, Mason Reed slowly approached me. Tough meeting. I'll manage. You saved the company. I only did my job. And still received criticism. I stayed silent. Mason folded both arms. If I were you, I would start looking somewhere else. I don't quit because of one bad day. This wasn't one bad day. What do you mean? This company will never see everything you sacrificed. I looked through the office windows toward Olivia's office. The door was already closed. Not even one conversation. Not even one simple thank you. For the first time since joining Carter Strategic Security, I wondered whether my loyalty had become invisible. I stayed at my desk long after everyone else left. The office felt quieter than usual, but my thoughts refused to slow down. Every sacrifice from the past 5 years replayed inside my mind. My phone rang. Hello, Dad. Daniel Brooks spoke calmly. You sound exhausted. I am. Another difficult day? The company survived another attack. That's good. I stopped 2 armed men. I'm proud of you. I still failed in Commander Carter's eyes. Daniel stayed silent for a moment. Ethan, answer one question. I'm listening. If you disappeared tomorrow, would Commander Carter choose you over the company? I closed my eyes. I don't know. You already know. I leaned back in my chair. I kept believing loyalty would change everything. Loyalty should never cost your happiness. I gave 5 years. You also gave birthdays, holidays, friendships, and peace. I thought the sacrifice meant something. It does. Then why does everything feel empty? Because love cannot grow where appreciation never exists. Those words settled deep inside my heart. I think I'm finally tired. Then stop carrying a burden that was never yours. After ending the call, I opened my desk drawer and removed a blank sheet of paper. I stared at it for several minutes. Finally, I wrote 2 words, resignation letter. Every sentence became easier than the one before. When I finished, I signed my name without hesitation. The next morning, I knocked on Olivia's office door. Come in. I walked inside and placed the envelope on the desk. Olivia looked at it. What is this? My resignation. Olivia opened the envelope. The room became completely silent while Olivia read every line. After several moments, Olivia placed the paper back on the desk. When does your notice begin? Today. Olivia looked directly into my eyes. Very well. That was all. No questions. No request to stay. No sign that 5 years had meant anything. I'll complete every remaining assignment before leaving. I expect nothing less. I understand. You may go. I nodded once. Goodbye, Commander. I walked out without looking back. Outside the office, Mason Reed watched me with a satisfied smile. I heard the news. I imagine you did. I'll miss working with you. I doubt that. You always understood people. I learned enough. I hope retirement treats you well. I'm not retiring. Oh, I'm finally starting my own life. Mason's smile faded for a second. Good luck. I won't need luck. Back in my office, I packed a few books, family photographs, and an old service medal. The box felt surprisingly light. When everything was finished, I carried it outside. A small coffee shop stood across the street. I ordered black coffee and sat near the window. A gentle voice interrupted my thoughts. Is this seat taken? I looked up. No. A young woman smiled warmly before sitting down. I'm Emily Turner. I'm Ethan Brooks. You look like someone carrying the weight of the world. I laughed quietly. Maybe I was. Tough day? I left my job. I'm sorry. Don't be. Emily tilted her head. Then congratulations. The unexpected answer made me smile for the first time in months. Congratulations? Sometimes walking away is the bravest decision. I looked through the cafe window toward the company building one last time. For years, that building had been my entire world. Now another future waited on the opposite side of the street. For the first time in 5 years, I believed my life might finally belong to me. My final morning at Carter Strategic Security felt strangely peaceful. I carried only one small box, yet every step through the hallway felt heavier than every mission I had completed during the past 5 years. Employees greeted me with quiet smiles, but nobody knew what to say. One security officer waved. Ethan, morning. I still can't believe today is your last day. Neither can I. You'll be missed. Thank you. Another officer walked over. Who's going to keep this place organized? I smiled. Someone else will. It won't be the same. I hope the company keeps moving forward. The officer shook my hand. Good luck. You too. I spent the next few hours handing over reports, passwords, and unfinished schedules. Every responsibility that had belonged to me slowly became someone else's. Near lunchtime, my phone vibrated. Emily, hello. How's the final day going? Almost finished. How do you feel? I expected relief. And my heart still feels confused. That's normal. I thought walking away would erase everything. 5 years cannot disappear in one morning. I laughed softly. You always know the right thing to say. I only say what I believe. What if I made the wrong decision? Emily answered without hesitation. Ethan, choosing yourself is never the wrong decision. I needed to hear that. I'm buying coffee after work. I'll join you. It's a promise. I'll be there. The call ended, leaving an unexpected warmth inside me. For the first time in years, someone cared about how I felt instead of what I could accomplish. The afternoon passed quietly. By 6 o'clock, most employees had already gone home. I picked up my box and looked around my office one last time. 5 years of memories filled the empty room. Before I reached the elevator, my phone rang again. The screen showed only one name, Commander Olivia Carter. I answered immediately. Commander? Come to my office. I already submitted every report. I know. Is something wrong? Just come. I'll be there. The call ended. I stood still for several seconds before walking upstairs. The executive floor looked almost deserted. Only Olivia's office remained lit. I knocked once. Come in. I stepped inside. Olivia stood beside the large window overlooking the city. The desk was completely clear. No reports. No laptop. No meetings. Only silence. You wanted to see me? Close the door. I quietly closed it. Olivia remained facing the window. I heard you're leaving in an hour. Yes. You already finished everything? I completed every assignment. You always do. I waited. Several long seconds passed. Finally, I asked, did you need anything else? Olivia slowly turned toward me. I wanted to thank you. You already did. No. Olivia took another step closer. I never thanked you properly. I didn't know how to answer. You protected this company. I stayed silent. You protected me. My heartbeat became louder. I only fulfilled my duty. Olivia looked directly into my eyes. It was more than duty. Those words surprised me more than any mission ever had. For 5 years, I had waited to hear something, anything that showed my sacrifices mattered. Now, those words arrived on the day I was leaving. I couldn't understand why. My heart wanted to believe Olivia, but my mind reminded me how many opportunities had already passed in silence. The distance between us suddenly felt smaller. Yet the future I had already chosen stood quietly behind me, refusing to disappear. I looked at Olivia without saying a word. 5 years of unanswered questions filled the silence between us. Commander. Don't call me Commander. The request caught me off guard. Olivia. Olivia nodded slowly. That's better. I placed my box on a chair. You said my work was more than duty. It was. I don't understand. Olivia took a slow breath. I never wanted you to leave. Then why accept my resignation? I thought you would change your mind. I waited 5 years for one reason to stay. I know. No, Olivia. You don't. I do. I shook my head. I missed birthdays. I know. I canceled vacations. I know. I ignored my own life because I believed serving you mattered. It mattered to me. Then why did you never say anything? Olivia lowered her eyes. I was afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid that feelings would make me weak. I stood there in complete silence. My father warned me. Daniel Brooks was right. He said loyalty without appreciation becomes a prison. Olivia closed her eyes. I built that prison. The words hit harder than I expected. I loved you. My heartbeat stopped for a moment. I loved you from the beginning. I could barely breathe. I never asked for anything except honesty. I thought protecting my feelings meant hiding them. Hiding them also hurt me. I know. No, Olivia. I know now. The room became painfully quiet. I met someone. Olivia looked at me again. Emily Turner? Yes. Emily makes you smile. Emily listens. I should have listened. Emily asked how my day was. I never asked. Emily thanks me for small things. I believed gratitude was unnecessary. She sighed deeply. I spent years hoping one sentence would change everything. I finally said that sentence. Too late. Tears filled Olivia's eyes. Can you give me another chance? I honestly don't know. I'll wait. I already waited. Olivia looked away. I deserve that answer. A faint sound came from outside the office. The door wasn't completely closed. Someone moved away quickly. I opened the door. The hallway was almost empty. At the far end, Mason Reed disappeared around the corner. Mason. No answer came back. I returned inside. Mason heard us. Olivia's expression changed immediately. Mason can't know. Mason already knows. Olivia sat down slowly. Mason has been pushing you away from the company for years. I noticed. I was blind. Mason won't stop now. I won't let Mason control my decisions anymore. I picked up my box. I should go. Ethan. I stopped. I'm sorry. I nodded quietly. I believe you. But believing me isn't enough. No. Will you meet me again? I can't promise anything. I'll accept that. I walked toward the door. Outside the building, the evening air felt lighter than it had in years. My phone buzzed. Emily. Hi. Finished? Yes. Coffee? I'm on my way. I'll save your favorite table. I'll be there soon. No matter what happened today, remember something. What? You don't have to earn kindness. A small smile appeared on my face. Thank you, Emily. The call ended. I looked back at Carter Strategic Security one final time. Olivia's confession had shaken my heart, but Emily's quiet kindness gave my future hope. Behind the office windows, old memories waited. Across the street, a different life quietly welcomed me. For the first time, I understood that love spoken too late could never erase years of silence, and the road ahead belonged to my own choice, not my past. 2 weeks passed after leaving Carter Strategic Security. Every morning felt different. My phone no longer woke me before sunrise, and nobody expected me to solve every crisis before breakfast. The quiet still felt unfamiliar, but it no longer felt empty. Emily smiled as another cup of coffee landed in front of me. You look more relaxed today. I finally slept 8 hours. I knew that would happen. I forgot what normal life felt like. Emily laughed. Normal looks good on you. I still catch myself checking company emails. Do you miss the job? I miss the purpose. And Commander Carter? I looked down at my coffee. I don't know. Emily nodded gently. You don't have to answer. Thank you. You never have to pretend around me. That sentence stayed with me long after breakfast ended. Later that afternoon, my phone rang. Daniel Brooks. Hi, Dad. How's freedom? I'm still learning. That's a good answer. I finally had breakfast without checking security reports. Daniel laughed. I've waited years to hear something like that. I think you were right. I don't want to be. I kept believing sacrifice would change everything. And now I want a life that chooses me, too. I'm proud of you. Thanks. Before ending the call, Daniel added one final sentence. Never confuse peace with weakness. I won't. The afternoon remained peaceful until my phone vibrated again. An unknown number. Hello. Ethan speaking. This is Michael from Carter Strategic Security Accounting. What happened? We discovered missing company funds. I frowned. Why are you calling me? Some financial records list your former department. My department never handled accounting. I know. Then what's going on? I thought you deserved to know. Thank you. The call ended. A strange feeling settled inside my chest. Something wasn't right. An hour later, another call arrived. This time from Olivia. Ethan. Commander. Can we meet? Is this about the missing money? You already know? Someone warned me. I need answers, too. I never touched company finances. I didn't accuse you. Not yet. Silence filled the line. Finally, Olivia spoke again. Please meet me tomorrow. I'll think about it. I trust you. The words surprised me. Do you? I want to. The call ended before I could answer. That evening, Emily noticed my expression immediately. You've been quiet. The company has problems. What kind? Missing money. Emily looked concerned. They blamed you. Not officially. But somebody wants that. I think so. Emily reached across the table. What will you do? I could ignore everything. Will that help? No. Then what does your heart say? My name is all I have. Emily squeezed my hand gently. Then protect it. I don't want revenge. You don't need revenge. I only want the truth. Then fight for the truth. I smiled. You always make difficult choices sound simple. They aren't simple. No. They're just necessary. That night, I barely slept. My resignation had closed one chapter, but the past refused to stay behind. For the first time since leaving Carter Strategic Security, I realized walking away had not ended the battle. The hardest fight was only beginning. The next morning, I arrived at Carter Strategic Security earlier than planned. Walking through the entrance felt strange. My employee badge no longer opened the doors, and another guard signed me in as a visitor. "Welcome back, Ethan." "Thanks. People still talk about you. I hope for good reasons." The guard smiled. "Mostly." I rode the elevator to the executive floor. Olivia waited inside the conference room. "Thank you for coming." "I came because my name matters." "I understand." Olivia placed several financial reports on the table. "Someone transferred company funds through accounts connected to your former department." "I never approved financial transactions." "I know. Then why am I here?" "Because Mason insists the missing records disappeared while you supervised operations." I looked directly at Olivia. "Do you believe Mason?" Olivia remained silent. The silence hurt more than any accusation. Finally, Olivia answered. "I don't want to." "That's not an answer. I need proof. I gave this company 5 years. I know. My record speaks for itself. I also have responsibility toward the company." I took a slow breath. "Then let me help find the truth." "You would still help after everything?" "I won't defend the company." "What will you defend?" "My name." Olivia nodded. "I'll give you access to every report." Before another word could be spoken, the conference room door opened. Mason Reed walked inside. "I didn't expect to see Ethan here." "I expected you." Mason smiled confidently. "The missing money speaks for itself. The missing money proves nothing. Your department handled security approvals, not accounting. You had access. So did dozens of managers." Mason crossed both arms. "Convenient answer." I stepped closer. "Look me in the eyes and tell me you honestly believe I stole from this company." Mason looked away for only a second. That single moment told me everything. Olivia noticed it, too. "Mason?" "Yes." "Answer, Ethan." "I already did." "No." Olivia's voice became colder. I asked a direct question. Mason forced a smile. "I believe the evidence." I asked whether you believe Ethan. Mason hesitated. "I believe the investigation should continue." Olivia looked disappointed. "I see." Mason quickly gathered the reports. "I'll update accounting." After Mason left the room, silence returned. I looked at Olivia. "You saw that." "I did." "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking fear made me ignore too many things. My father once told me that trust is built slowly and destroyed quickly. I never wanted us to become enemies. We aren't. It feels that way." I shook my head. "I won't run. I'm grateful. I'm doing this for myself." "I understand. My reputation belongs to me and I'll help clear it." I studied Olivia's face. For the first time in years, uncertainty had replaced confidence. Maybe losing me had forced Olivia to question more than emotions. Maybe truth had finally become impossible to ignore. I extended my hand. "We find the truth." Olivia accepted the handshake. "We find the truth together." As I left the building, my phone vibrated. "Emily, how did the meeting go?" "It wasn't easy." "Did you give up?" "Not a chance." Emily laughed softly. "That's the Ethan I know." Hearing those words reminded me why I had chosen a different path. Someone finally believed in me before asking for proof. That quiet trust gave me more strength than years of silent loyalty ever had. 3 days after returning to help the investigation, I sat inside a small conference room surrounded by financial reports I barely understood. Numbers had never been my job, but patterns were. Something about the documents felt deliberately arranged. Olivia entered quietly. "Good morning." "Morning. Did you find anything?" "I found missing pages." Olivia frowned. "Missing pages?" "These reports jump from March to May." "I never noticed." "Somebody wanted nobody to notice." Olivia looked at the files again. "I'll ask accounting." Before Olivia could leave, another knock interrupted us. "Come in." Michael stepped inside carrying another folder. "I found backup records." Olivia looked surprised. "I thought those files were deleted." "So did I." Michael placed everything on the table. "These copies came from the archive server." I opened the first file. "Every transfer has authorization codes." Olivia leaned closer. Those aren't Ethan's codes. I know. I pointed at another page. These belong to Mason Reed. The room became completely silent. Michael swallowed nervously. I didn't want to accuse anyone without proof. This is proof, I said. Not enough, Olivia replied. What else do we need? We need the complete transaction history. I'll find it, Michael said. After Michael left, Olivia remained standing beside the table. I owe you another apology. Not yet. You were right. The investigation isn't over. I should have trusted you sooner. I would have trusted you 5 years ago. Olivia lowered her eyes. I know. The conversation ended when another employee hurried inside. Ethan, what's wrong? My name is Rachel. I remember you. I need to tell you something. Olivia nodded. Go ahead. Rachel took a deep breath. Mason ordered us to change meeting schedules. I frowned. What kind of changes? Mason canceled several private meetings you requested with Commander Carter. I looked at Olivia. I requested those meetings. I never received them. Rachel continued. Mason said Commander Carter was too busy. I asked quietly, how many meetings? At least 12. My chest tightened. 12? Rachel nodded. There were also messages. What messages? I delivered handwritten notes from you. I stared at Olivia. I wrote those. Olivia looked shocked. I never received a single note. Rachel's voice shook. Mason always took the envelopes before they reached Commander Carter. The room became completely silent again. 5 years of confusion suddenly started making sense. Olivia slowly sat down. I thought you stopped trying. I never stopped. I believed you became distant. I believed you didn't care. Rachel wiped away tears. I'm sorry. You were following orders. I still feel guilty. I offered a small smile. Thank you for finally telling the truth. Rachel nodded before leaving the room. Olivia covered her face with both hands. How many lies did Mason tell? I don't know, but every answer hurts. I looked at the scattered documents across the table. The missing money had uncovered something even bigger. Someone hadn't only stolen company funds. Someone had quietly stolen 5 years from both of us. The next morning, Olivia asked me to attend an emergency board meeting. Every board member sat quietly as thick folders rested in front of every chair. The atmosphere felt heavier than any security briefing I had ever attended. Olivia looked toward me. Thank you for coming. I came because the truth deserves a voice. The board chairman nodded. Let's begin. Michael stood beside the screen. I completed the financial investigation. One director asked, what did you discover? Michael opened the first report. Every missing transfer was approved using Mason Reed's executive authorization. Mason immediately stood. Those records are fake. They came from the archive server, Michael replied. They were altered. I spoke calmly. Then explained the security logs. Michael displayed another document. Every login matches Mason's office computer. Another director frowned. Any witnesses? Rachel entered the room. I have something to say. Olivia nodded. Go ahead. Rachel looked directly at the board. Mason ordered me to hide Ethan's meeting requests. Mason raised a hand. That's a lie. Rachel continued without stopping. Mason also intercepted handwritten notes meant for Commander Carter. Another employee stood up. My name is Kevin. The chairman looked surprised. You have information, too? Yes. Kevin handed several printed emails to the board. Mason instructed accounting to move funds through Ethan's former department. Mason slammed a hand on the table. Enough. The chairman answered firmly. Sit down. Mason slowly lowered into the chair. Michael opened one final file. This recording came from the archive server. The room filled with Mason's recorded voice. Blame Ethan. Nobody will question a former employee. Silence followed. No explanation could erase those words. The chairman closed the folder. Mason. Mason looked around desperately. You are dismissed immediately. Olivia added quietly. Security will escort Mason from the building. 2 officers entered the room. Mason pointed toward me. You ruined everything. I shook my head. No. You planned this. I defended my name. Mason laughed bitterly. Commander Carter never deserved you. Olivia answered before I could speak. You're right. The officers escorted Mason outside. Nobody said another word until the door closed. The chairman looked toward me. Ethan, the board apologizes. Thank you. You protected this company with honor. I only wanted the truth. The meeting officially ended. but Olivia remained seated. Ethan, I stopped walking. I owe you something. You owe yourself honesty first. Olivia stood and faced everyone still inside the room. I want every employee to hear this. The room became quiet again. I failed Ethan Brooks. Nobody interrupted. I ignored loyalty. I ignored sacrifice. I allowed lies to replace trust. Olivia looked directly into my eyes. I'm deeply sorry. I appreciated the courage behind those words. Still, my heart stayed calm instead of hopeful. I accept the apology. Relief appeared on Olivia's face, but acceptance doesn't erase 5 years. The smile disappeared. I understand. I forgave you because carrying anger only hurts me. I never expected forgiveness. I can't return to the life I left behind. Olivia nodded slowly. I know. I walked toward the exit. Outside the building, Emily waited beside the sidewalk. Everything finished? Yes. How do you feel? Lighter. Any revenge? I smiled. No. What happened? The truth won. Emily reached for my hand. That's enough. I looked back only once. The company finally knew my worth. More importantly, I finally knew my own. Several days passed after the board meeting. My name had been cleared, Mason was gone, and the company finally knew the truth. Even so, my heart still carried questions that no investigation could answer. One evening, my phone rang. Olivia. I looked at the screen for several seconds before answering. Hello, Ethan. How are you? I've been better. Silence settled between us. Finally, Olivia spoke again. Can we meet? What for? I don't want to discuss the company. Then what? I want to talk about us. I closed my eyes. There has never been an us. There could have been. Maybe. Please. After a long pause, I answered, one conversation. Thank you. We agreed to meet the following afternoon in a quiet park overlooking the lake. When I arrived, Olivia was already sitting on a bench. Thank you for coming. I gave my word. Olivia smiled sadly. You always keep your promises. I remained standing for a moment before sitting beside Olivia. I don't know where to begin. Start with the truth. Olivia nodded. I spent years believing emotions made leaders weak. I remember. I buried every feeling. I noticed. I thought protecting my heart would protect my career. And what happened? I lost both. The honesty in Olivia's voice sounded different from anything I had heard before. I hurt you. Yes. I ignored your sacrifices. Yes. I waited too long. You did. Olivia looked toward the lake. I loved you every day. I listened quietly. I celebrated every promotion you earned. I never knew. I worried every time you left for dangerous assignments. You never showed it. I was afraid. She sighed softly. Fear became our biggest enemy. It became mine. Several moments passed without another word. Finally, Olivia looked back at me. Ethan. Yes. Will you give me another chance? The question stayed in the air. I searched my heart before answering. I don't know. I'll wait. I asked you to see me years ago. I know. I wrote letters. I never received them. I asked for meetings. Mason hid them. I kept believing tomorrow would be different. Tears appeared in Olivia's eyes. I'm sorry. I believe you, but belief isn't enough. No. Olivia lowered her head. I deserve every difficult answer. Before I could respond, my phone vibrated. Emily. I should answer. Of course. I accepted the call. Hi. Emily's cheerful voice immediately reached me. How's your afternoon? I'm meeting someone. I guessed that. You did? I'm not surprised. I'll explain later. No pressure. I appreciate that. I only wanted to remind you about dinner. I'll be there. Emily laughed softly. I wasn't worried. You trust me? I do. Why? Because trust isn't something I use to control people. Those simple words settled deep inside my heart. I'll see you tonight. I'll be waiting. The call ended. Olivia looked at me quietly. Emily never asked where you were. No. Emily never demanded proof. No. Olivia smiled sadly. Emily loves differently. I nodded. Emily gives me space to choose. For the first time, I realized the biggest difference between the past and the future wasn't love. It was peace. After leaving the park, I drove home without turning on the radio. The silence gave my thoughts room to breathe. Olivia's confession, Emily's quiet trust, and 5 years of memories all competed inside my heart. That evening, Emily welcomed me with a warm smile. You're late. I know. Everything okay? I had an important conversation. Emily placed dinner on the table. You don't have to explain until you're ready. I looked at Emily. Thank you. We ate quietly for several minutes. Finally, I spoke. Olivia asked for another chance. Emily gently set down the fork. How do you feel? Confused. That's honest. I don't want to hurt anyone. You can't protect every heart. I know. Emily reached across the table. Ethan? Yes. I won't compete with your past. You don't have to. I won't ask you to choose tonight. I felt my chest become lighter. Why? Because love isn't ownership. Those words stayed with me long after dinner ended. The next morning, I visited Daniel Brooks. Daniel smiled as soon as the door opened. You look like someone carrying another heavy decision. I am. We sat on the porch with 2 cups of coffee. Tell me everything. I described the meeting with Olivia, every apology, every tear, and every question still living inside my heart. Daniel listened without interrupting. When I finished, Daniel nodded slowly. Ethan, I'm listening. Have you forgiven Olivia? Yes. Do you still love Olivia? I'll always care. That's not what I asked. I looked toward the quiet street. I don't know if love is enough anymore. Daniel smiled gently. Then answer one final question. What question? When you imagine your future, who brings you peace? The answer appeared immediately. Emily. Did you hesitate? No. Then your heart already decided. I feel guilty. Forgiveness doesn't always mean returning. I needed to hear that. You spent years choosing everyone except yourself. I did. Now choose the life that also chooses you. I nodded slowly. That afternoon, I called Olivia. Hello. Ethan, I made my decision. I'll listen. I forgive everything. Thank you, but I can't come back. Several quiet seconds passed. I understand. I'll always respect you. I'll always be grateful. You deserve happiness. So do you. I'm choosing a different future. I know. I hope one day you find someone who never fears loving you. Olivia laughed softly through tears. I hope the same for you. The call ended peacefully. For the first time in years, no anger remained inside my heart. Only acceptance. That evening, I met Emily beside the lake. Emily smiled. You look different. I finally stopped looking backward. Emily took my hand. What changed? I chose my future. And I hope my future includes you. Emily's eyes filled with happy tears. I was hoping you'd say that. I smiled without hesitation. For years, I believed loyalty meant staying no matter the cost. Now I finally understood that real love never asks someone to disappear. Real love welcomes every scar, every lesson, and every tomorrow with open arms. And I finally walked toward that future without looking back. 6 months passed faster than I expected. For the first time in years, my mornings no longer began with emergency phone calls or security reports. Instead, my day started with fresh coffee, quiet conversations, and the peaceful feeling that my life finally belonged to me. Emily smiled while placing breakfast on the table. You actually slept until 7 o'clock. I didn't know that was possible. Emily laughed. I've been telling you that for months. I finally believe you. That's progress. I smiled. I like progress. Emily sat across from me. Any plans today? I have a meeting with a new security client. Nervous? A little. You'll do great. You always say that. Because it's always true. I reached across the table and held Emily's hand. Thank you. For what? For reminding me that life can be peaceful. Emily squeezed my hand gently. You built this peace, too. After breakfast, I drove to my small security consulting office. The business had grown slowly, but every new client came through trust instead of fear. Around noon, my phone rang. Olivia. I answered. Hello. Ethan, how are you? Better. I'm glad. I wanted to tell you something. I'm listening. We changed several company policies. What kind? Mandatory vacations. I smiled. Good. Employee counseling. That's important. Monthly appreciation meetings. I laughed softly. Commander Carter giving appreciation speeches. Olivia laughed, too. Old habits can change. I'm proud of you. I learned that leadership isn't about distance. What is it about? It's about earning trust every day. I'm happy the company has that leader now. Thank you. Before ending the call, Olivia added one more sentence. Sophia wanted me to thank you. For what? Sophia said losing you forced me to become the person I should have been years ago. I hope Sophia is right. I think Sophia is. The call ended peacefully. There was no sadness, no regret, only respect. That evening, Emily noticed my smile. Good news? I spoke with Olivia. How is Olivia doing? Growing. Emily nodded warmly. That's nice to hear. I think Olivia finally found peace, too. I'm happy for Olivia. I looked at Emily. You aren't jealous? Emily laughed. Why would I be? I don't know. Emily stepped closer. Ethan. Yes? Love doesn't become stronger by fearing the past. It doesn't. It becomes stronger by trusting the present. I wrapped my arms around Emily. I needed you more than I ever realized. Emily rested her head against my shoulder. And I needed someone honest. The peaceful moment was interrupted by another phone call. Daniel Brooks. Hi, Dad. I just watched the news. What happened? Mason Reed accepted a plea agreement. I stayed quiet. Several fraud charges. I expected that. The court hearing is next month. I don't feel happy. You don't? I only feel relieved. Daniel laughed softly. That means you finally moved on. Maybe I have. Before ending the call, Daniel said something that stayed with me. Winning isn't watching someone fall. What is winning? Living well after letting go. I looked toward Emily and smiled. For the first time, I completely understood what Daniel meant. A few weeks later, I received an invitation to speak at a leadership seminar. Carter Strategic Security had organized the event to promote healthier workplace culture. I hesitated before accepting, but Emily smiled and encouraged me. You should go. Are you sure? Very sure. Why? Because your story might help someone else. Emily's confidence gave me courage. The seminar hall filled with managers, employees, and young professionals. I walked onto the stage, took a slow breath, and looked across the audience. Good afternoon. The room became quiet. I spent 5 years believing loyalty meant giving everything. Several people listened carefully. I believed silence was strength. I paused briefly. I learned that respect, honesty, and appreciation matter just as much as hard work. Applause filled the room. After my speech, Olivia walked onto the stage. Thank you for coming. I'm glad I accepted. Olivia smiled. I have something to say. Everyone became silent again. I once believed leadership required emotional distance. Olivia looked toward the employees. I was wrong. Nobody interrupted. I ignored loyal people. I delayed important conversations. I allowed fear to guide my decisions. Olivia looked at me. Ethan taught me that appreciation should never arrive too late. The audience applauded again. I nodded respectfully. After the event ended, Olivia approached me. Ethan, it's good to see you. Olivia smiled warmly. Thank you. For what? For helping Olivia become a better leader. I never planned that. Sometimes life's greatest lessons come through painful endings. I believe that now. Olivia gently squeezed my shoulder. I wish you happiness. Thank you. Outside the building, Emily waited beside my car. How did everything go? Better than I expected. Emily smiled. I knew it would. I laughed. You always know. I simply believe in you. We drove toward the lake where our story had quietly found a new beginning. The evening sky reflected across the water while a gentle breeze moved through the trees. I looked at Emily. There's something I want to say. Emily smiled. I'm listening. I spent years searching for love in a place where fear kept every door closed. Emily held my hand. And now I know real love never asks someone to wait forever. Emily's eyes became bright with emotion. I promise to keep choosing you every day. Emily answered without hesitation. I promise the same. I wrapped my arms around Emily as the sun slowly disappeared beyond the lake. Looking back, I finally understood something that had taken years to learn. Losing the life I desperately wanted became the greatest gift I ever received. Mason lost power through dishonesty. Olivia found wisdom through regret. Daniel reminded me to value myself. Sophia proved that change was always possible. Emily showed me that genuine love grows through trust instead of fear. As for me, I no longer measure success by sacrifice alone. I measure success by peace, respect, and the courage to walk away from anything that asked me to forget my own worth. Some confessions arrive too late. Some endings break the heart before healing it. My ending became a beginning. My scars became my strength. My past became my teacher. My future became my choice. With Emily beside me and hope ahead of me, I finally walked forward without regret, knowing the greatest victory was choosing self-worth over delayed love.